ocean. So Vancouver is a very big city. Halifax on the other side of the country is a very big city. Montreal is a big city. Okay, so those cities are close to water. So either the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, or the Rideau Canal, or the St. Lawrence Seaway. Okay, so yes, so the population is actually quite low compared to the size of the country. My city is only 30,000. Okay, so it's a very small city, and in some countries, 30,000 people would not be a city; it would be like a town or a village, even. Okay, but in Canada, 30,000 people is a city. Okay. Any other questions about Canada? And then we can start with our idioms of the day.
I do have one.
Ask me anything.
May I say?
Can I?
Go ahead, Marvin. What would you like to know?
Can I ask one question?
Go ahead.
So, I always wanted to visit Canada. This is like for many years. So I think it's one of the favorite countries, even that I never been there. So if I travel to Canada, what would be the first thing you would advise me in to find out, or to, I don't know, to use about Canada?
Well, Canada, I believe. What country are you in?
Oh, sorry, my internet connection is really bad. I mean, if I travel to Canada, what would be the first thing you would tell me
Excuse
to
me,
do?
excuse me, dear.
Canada?
Your sound is not smooth.
Okay, well, you probably would need a visa. I'm not. What country are you from?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes, Mahmoud Mohammadi from Egypt.
Asia. Okay. Well, you
Yes,
probably
Egypt, Cairo.
would need a visa. It's not that hard. You go to the Canadian consulate and you can apply right online. And then you book a ticket to Canada, you get a visa. Okay, and we do welcome tourists. We welcome people from all over the world. We are very multicultural. We are immigrant and visitor friendly, unlike the United States right now under Trump. Okay, so you would probably fly into a large city. You would fly into Toronto, or you would fly into Vancouver. And then, of course, you can go anywhere you want. There's no restrictions about traveling within Canada. Okay, so there's trains, there's buses, of course, there's ride shares, to get around to different places. And so, so are you interested in visiting Western Canada or Eastern Canada? Marvin?
Western Canada, yes?
Western. Okay, all right. So there's lots to see in Vancouver, of course. They have beautiful beaches, they have beautiful parks. Vancouver's a large city. It's quite expensive, but there's lots to see and do in Vancouver. And then from there, okay, you can go to Vancouver Island, where I used to live. I used to live in Vancouver Island for 6 years. And you can travel up and down Vancouver Island. You have to take a ferry to go to Vancouver Island. And then there are these little mini shuttles that go up and down the island. So you can visit different places on Vancouver Island. The capital city of British Columbia is on Vancouver Island. It's called Victoria. It's called the Garden City. It's beautiful. It does not have harsh winters, and there's lots of flowers in the Garden City in Victoria. Okay, good question. All right, anybody else have any questions about Canada?
Hey, teacher.
Go ahead, Elizabeth.
Hey, how are you?
How about yourself?
Okay. How Thanksgiving is celebrated in Canada?
Pardon me? What is your question?
How Thanksgiving is celebrated in Canada?
How is celebrated? What?
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Christmas.
Thanks. Oh, okay. Thanksgiving is coming up in right in this month, October. It's the second Monday of October. So it wasn't like last Monday, but next Monday it'll be Thanksgiving. Okay. So that is a harvest festival. So we are thankful about the blessings in our life, the good things in our life, and so that we have a probably a family dinner or some type of a gathering with maybe turkey. Okay, turkey, pavo, and other things like stuffing and mashed potatoes or sweet potatoes, different kinds of vegetables, and possibly a pumpkin pie for dessert. Okay, so that's Thanksgiving. It's a different day than the American Thanksgiving. Canadian Thanksgiving is earlier than the American Thanksgiving. The American Thanksgiving is the last Thursday and Friday of November. Okay, so we have Canadian Thanksgiving. I think would be next Monday, and that would be Thanksgiving Day, and it is a holiday. The banks are closed, the schools are closed, and people get together with their friends and family to give thanks for good things in their life. Okay, now Christmas. All right. It's pretty well, there's lots there's for one thing it's winter. Okay. All right. Now I have been in Mexico during Christmas, and it's not winter. It's sunny, and you go to the beach for Christmas Day. Okay. So the weather is completely different in Mexico than Canada. So so usually there is snow in Canada at Christmas time. So it looks like kind of like the picture books. Okay, we do have Santa Claus. Santa Claus brings gifts to the boys and girls. In other countries, it could be baby Jesus, it could be the wise men, but in Canada, Santa Claus brings presents for the young boys and girls. Okay, again, it's a family time. People have decorated Christmas tree, and then they give gifts to each other on Christmas morning. And then there's some type of a dinner, a special family dinner with turkey for your friends and family. Okay, so and there's lots of decorations, lots of lights because it's the darkest time of the year. So Canadians like live and decorate their houses with lights and their homes with Christmas decorations. Okay, does that answer your question, Elizabeth? Is that okay?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. It's also good.
Okay, so it's kind of like on
Hello,
television,
teacher.
Yes. Okay, question. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Kawa. So I want to ask you the cost living in general in Canada, and which city it's like cheap rather than like more than other city like compared to Montreal and Vancouver. Which city is low or cheap? Like which city is cheap more than other city? And I want to ask you other question. The
Yes.
average of the salary of employee in Canada.
Okay. Well, each province has a capital city. Okay, so as I mentioned, Victoria is on Vancouver Island. Okay, so you have to take a ferry to go to Vancouver Island, a boat, a very large boat. Okay, you can't drive to Vancouver Island. All right, so lots of people like to either live in Vancouver or I lived on Vancouver Island. Okay, all right, then so it depends on whether you like winter or not. Okay, if you don't like winter, you probably want to live in the interior British Columbia where I live, or you live in Vancouver or Victoria or on Vancouver Island. They have rain instead of snow. Okay, now if you like winter or you don't mind winter, then you can live in other places like Edmonton is the capital city of Alberta, Winnipeg is the capital city of Manitoba. All right, Toronto is the capital city of Ontario. The capital city of my entire country is Ottawa. That is the government capital of the entire country. Okay. And then in Eastern Canada, certainly you mentioned Montreal, wonderful city, very large city. It's quite cold in the winter, and it's a damp cold. Okay. So then there's Halifax, there's New Brunswick, there's Fredericton and New Brunswick. My favorite province is Prince Edward Island, and the capital city is Charlottetown. Okay, the newest province is Newfoundland, and it joined Canada in 1949. Okay, so it really depends on whether you like to live in a small city, medium city, or a large city, and whether you like winter or not. So, in the summertime, you can go anywhere because it's beautiful everywhere. Okay, and then either towards the end of this month or next month, we probably get snow. Where I am,
Sorry,
yeah. Okay.
which sorry if I interrupt you. Which city it's cheap for in terms for cost of living?
Or what kind of living?
I say which city it's cheap in terms for cost living.
Oh, cost of living. Okay, yeah, you don't want to go to, Vancouver and Toronto are the most expensive, and Montreal are the most expensive cities. Okay, so you probably want to go to the prairie provinces like Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. The cost of living is lower. Okay, it's far.
Okay.
Yeah, it has longer winters, but the cost of living is much lower. Okay.
Okay.
When you
So
get to big cities or you get close to the oceans, the cost of living is much higher.
mhm, okay. So
Right.
the average of salary of employee in Canada.
Well, we have something called a minimum wage. Every province has a minimum wage that you cannot go lower than. In my province, I believe the minimum wage is $17.85 an hour. Okay. Other
Mm-hmm.
provinces might have a little bit higher, a little bit lower. I think British Columbia
70,
has either
17 or $70.
17, 17, dot, dot,
17 per hour?
yeah, $17 an hour,
Per,
almost 18,
per hour. Yes.
$17.85 an hour. So even if you work in a coffee shop, that will be the lowest wage. Now, naturally, other jobs, skilled jobs, pay better, right? Okay, I was a teacher for many years, so my salary was higher, but I also owned a house, and when homeowners, you have to pay a lot of money for having a house. So with taxes and renovations and upkeep and everything. So I needed a higher paying job to pay for my house. But I sold my house, so I do not have a house anymore. And so my cost of living is lower because I am not paying for my house. Okay. So good question though. But so if you want to go to a place that has a lower cost of living, then check out Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba, the three provinces. They're called prairie provinces. Okay. And you can fly into
So,
those cities. You don't have to always fly into Vancouver or Toronto. Okay. All of the major cities have international airports. Okay.
so I have a
Excuse
question.
me, what about income?
What
Yes.
about, pardon me? What
What
about, what was
about
the,
income taxes of salary?
well, yeah, we do pay a lot of income tax. That's true. But then everybody in
Yeah.
Canada has health. Okay. In the United States,
Uh-huh.
everybody does not have health care. There are millions and millions of uninsured Americans that have no health care. Okay. Now in Canada, we all have health care. All right. So we do pay income taxes to fund the
Uh-huh.
schools and the hospitals and just, roads and water filtration plants, electrical generators. Okay. So we have something called infrastructure
Uh-huh.
that helps the cities be livable for the people. Okay, so we do pay income tax, yes, and quite a lot of income tax. But even when I was living in Mexico, I lived in Mexico for 6 years. I still paid income tax in Canada. Okay, because my friends and my family live here, so it was important for me to pay income tax in Canada.
Yes.
Okay.
What is the percentage? Yeah.
Percent?
The percentage are, yes,
Okay.
the percentage about
Yeah. Okay. I pay 20%. Okay. So, but
20?
I 20%.
Yes.
So, but I am considered retired. So on my pensions, I pay 20%. All right. When I was making more money as a teacher, I was probably paying 30%. But I was making more money, you see, because your income tax is linked to the amount of money that you make. Okay. So if you make more money, you pay more taxes. If you make less money, you pay less taxes. That's the way it works in Canada.
Yes. The income tax according to your salary. When your salary is very high, the income tax is very, yes.
Yeah.
When the income salary is low,
Yeah.
the tax is very low. Yes.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
Yes.
Plus, there's also deductions on your income tax form. So if you have medical expenses or if you have other, if you have children, that is a tax deduction. Okay, so you pay less taxes because you have dependents, you have children, or perhaps your wife or husband is a dependent, so you would pay less taxes. So there is something called deductions that lower your taxes. Okay, I don't have any children. Okay,
Yeah.
and I'm not married, so I have very few deductions. So
Your
I have
grandmother?
no,
Your grandmother?
no, no,
No?
no, no
Yes.
grant, no. Okay,
Yeah.
so I pay 20%. Okay, so I feel that that's fair. Even when I was living in Mexico, I pay taxes in Canada because I wanted my friends and my family to be able to to go to send their kids to schools, good public schools, and also to be able to go to the hospital. So
Yes.
okay,
So I have one question.
sure, go ahead.
Uh, was also a British colony, so it's also in a Commonwealth country.
It's
So do you still follow some British law, or you have a own constitution?
Okay, we have our own constitution because we have been an independent country since 1967. Okay, so are we part of the Commonwealth of Nations? I think there's 135 nations. Yes, we are. Okay, so we have a prime minister. Okay, it's not a president, not like in the United States, it's a president, but we have a prime minister, and that we do acknowledge the king, King Charles II in England. Okay, on the I'll just get some money out here. On our money, I believe we still have the Queen. The Queen has been dead for 2 years,
Yeah.
but I'll just see if yes. Okay. All right. So here is a $20. Okay. So you can see, the Queen. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's quite a large bill. There it is. It's quite
Yeah.
large.
And
It has,
Canadian dollar much familiar with pound
yes, it's not a
as a
pound
printing.
and it's not
Yeah.
a euro. So we do have dollars. Okay, this
Mhm.
is a Canadian $20 bill. Okay. So basically if you're working in Canada, you make at least, pretty close to $20 an hour. Okay. Right. All right. And this has special it's plasticized.
Yes.
So it has special markings, which is really, really difficult to counterfeit, right? Okay. So yes, we still have the Queen on our money. All right. So we have $5. We do not have our $1 coin is a coin. It's not a bill anymore. In the United States,
So
they
I have
still
a
have.
question.
Yeah.
How
Yes.
much how much Canadian dollar equivalent to US dollar? $1 actually.
Okay. All right. So it's about 75 cents. Okay, so the Canadian dollar is weaker than the American dollar. Okay, so if I went to the bank with an American dollar, they would give me 75 cents back. Okay, so it is lower, it is weaker. Okay. But and of course the dollar goes up and down, as we know, right? Okay. So this $20, if I took this to the bank, I would get about $15 back US. So I would
$17 I believe. $17.
yeah. So and it goes up
So
and down.
you follow the same system like Britain. India and Pakistan was also British colonized, and we follow parliamentarian system. And Canada, Australia also have parliamentarian system.
Because we're all Commonwealth countries, right? We're
Yeah.
independent, but we still are part of the Commonwealth, so we do follow the parliamentary system. Yes. But
I
and
have a map of Canada
yes.
also,
Oh, well, there you
and
go.
I'm very surprised. There's it's a territory or state. Maybe I pronounce wrong. None are viewed. It's attached with the
Oh,
northwest territories.
territories, yes. Yeah. Northwest
It's
Territories.
depend on. There's a lot of small island in this
Yes.
state.
Yes.
Or
Yes.
this is a territory or a province.
It is a territory. Okay, we have 10 provinces and 3
Yep.
territories. We have the Yukon
Okay.
Territory, the Northwest Territories, and
Okay.
it's the newest one.
Northwest territories
It's Northwest
and
Territory
Yukon. Yep.
and the Yukon. And there's one more territory that was the Northwest Territories was split in
Yeah.
2 at the year 2000.
So Nova Scotia is a province and also Edward Island.
I've been there. It's beautiful. It's by the Atlantic Ocean, and
Yeah.
on the dime, the 10-cent coin in Canada, there is a famous boat called the Blue Nose 2, that I've actually seen with my eyes when I went to Nova Scotia. It's true.
So you visited all province and territories in your life?
I have. Yes, I have. Yes. Because one summer I flew to Atlantic Canada. So I visited Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, and Newfoundland. So there's 4 Atlantic provinces next to the Atlantic Ocean, and I have been to all 4 of them. Yes. My favorite province is Prince Edward Island.
Yeah. So there is a kind of a nature symbol in Canada and also in Russia regarding birds. There's a lot of birds in winters from Canada and Russia. They migrate into warm countries like India and Pakistan.
Yes. Yes, they do.
Actually, I want to
How
say
many?
something. If you are not speaking, please mute yourself. Otherwise, the sound is echoing. You know who is speaking? Only he or she can unmute.
Yes, that's good. So yeah, the only person speaking should be unmuted. Okay, yes. In the wintertime, some of the birds stay here. Okay, but some hummingbirds go to Mexico. Monarch butterflies go to Mexico, and then when winter is over, they come back. It's amazing that they travel so far because they're just like little, right? But it's one of the amazing things about Mother Nature. Yes, but we do have birds that stay here in the winter. Okay, there's I guess there's lots of things for them to eat. Berries, seeds. Um, and then people, of course, feed the birds here, right? Okay, so we understand that it's harder for the birds to find food. So many people have bird feeders in their properties. So, and you can, anywhere you can buy bird seed. Okay. You can go to Walmart, anywhere at all. You can get bird seed and you can feed the birds. Yeah. Really good questions today. Okay. So the time is ticking here. So we better get going. Now, we are working from the my favorite book here, Essential Idioms in English. This is a free book. As you can see, I've used it a lot, and I will post the link again, so you can download it or even print it out. Okay, so we are working on lesson 36 today. All right. Okay, so the first, and these are idioms or phrases. Okay, but they're commonly used phrases, so they're good to know and practice. Okay, the first one is out of the question. Okay, when something is impossible or very difficult, it is out of the question. Okay, so impossible, not feasible. So here's a couple of examples. Stephen told Deborah that it was out of the question for her to borrow his new car. Don't expect me to do that again. It's absolutely out of the question. Okay, so it is an idiomatic phrase because it's out of the question, not in the question, but out of the question. Okay, so don't ask again. In other words, it's impossible. Can you think of an example of something in your life where somebody has asked you to do something impossible and it's out of the question? Anybody? It's something that is impossible.
Yeah, so I'm not going to vote for Donald Trump because it's out of the question since I'm not the citizen of USA, of the USA.
Exactly. So perfect example. When you already know that something is not possible, it's out of the question. Okay. All right. You just know that that is the truth. Okay. So the next one we're going to do is check in and check out. Okay. First one is check in. To register at a hotel or motel, to leave or deposit for transporting or safekeeping. So Courtney arrived in town at midday and probably checked in at the Plaza Hotel. There were dozens of people at the airline counters waiting to check their bags in for flights. Okay, so you check in your bags or you check into a motel. Okay, so can we think of an example for that? So check in. And you can also say, oh, like this morning, I was checking in with David because I know he had a motorcycle not accident, but he had a situation that there was an injury from an exhaust pipe on a motorcycle. So right off, as soon as I saw David, I wanted to check in with how David was doing and whether he was able to get antibiotics and aloe vera gel, which he did. Okay. So you can check in, with your friends, right? If you want to know something specific. Okay. So you check into a hotel, you check into, when you go to the airport, you check your bags in, okay, your suitcases, and then you check in with your friends. Okay. So if you call your friends, you say, oh, how you doing? I just wanted to check in to see how you were doing. Okay, so that's a good phrase to use, to remember and use, because it's very useful in different circumstances. Okay, so this, even in this class, right, I'm checking in with everybody in this class to see if there's any new people. Okay, and then I'm checking in with people in this class to see if they have any questions about Canada. Okay, so I always start my classes with a check-in. So you can check in with your friends, you can check in with your class, you can check your suitcases in at the airport, So there's many things that you can check in. Okay, can anybody use check in a sentence for us?
Yeah, as we using social,
Go ahead.
as we are using social media, so we have lot of friends. So sometimes we don't contact. So after a long time, if we find them, we just check in many things.
Exactly. After long absence, you check in to see how they're doing. Exactly. Okay, so the next one is check out. All right. To pay the bill of a hotel or motel and then leave, to investigate, to examine. The latest you should check out of the hotel is noon. The police received a call from someone claiming to have witnessed a murder. The police sent 2 detectives to check the call out right away. Okay. So you're either leaving a hotel or motel, or you're finding out more information. So if somebody asks me a question about Canada that I don't know, okay, I have to check out the answer. So you check out the answer, you investigate the answer. The police have to check out, if you call 911, they have to check out, what has happened, in your house or wherever you're living. Okay. So it's quite useful. So you're either leaving or you're investigating. Okay. So you're finding out new information. Okay. So yesterday David went to the farmacia in Mexico, and so he was checking out his options about how to heal the burn on his leg. Okay. So he was finding out more information. Okay. So he listened to my recommendations. I was glad. And that he was able to get antibiotics and aloe vera gel so that his leg will heal without infections. Okay. Right. Okay. So when you are finding out information, you're checking the cost of flights. Okay, if you want to go somewhere warm for the winter or for Christmas, you're checking out the flights. Okay, so or you could be at the beach and you're checking out the good-looking men or the good-looking women, at the beach. So you're also, looking at things that you like. Okay. You can go to the mall and check out, maybe I need a new hat. Okay, maybe I need a new coat. So I'm checking out the different jackets and the prices, right? So that there's lots, but it's very useful. It's a very useful phrase. Okay, so can somebody give us an example of with using checkout?
Yeah,
Go
this
ahead.
process is this process is very very usable until in Spanish. Check out. Yeah, is maybe I can say I'll check out my email
Yes. Okay.
for one information what I need, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's usable very much.
Very, very useful. Okay, and then also where you pay, like you go to the supermarket. Okay, when you have all your things in your cart or whatever, your basket, and you go to the checkout. Okay, so that means somebody is going to take your money and then bag your groceries. Okay, that it's actually a place checkout. Okay, and then maybe you don't see the checkout. You say, "Oh, excuse me, where's the checkout? I want to pay for my food." Right? Okay, very useful, very useful. So check in and check out, extremely useful. Okay, all right. All right, so let's continue. So we have check in and check out. Very useful. Okay. The next one is, okay. Okay, to serve one's purpose, to be useful, to suit one's needs or requirements. I don't have a screwdriver to open this, but I think that a knife will serve the purpose. Jane prefers working or studying, so it serves her purpose to drop out of school and take that job. Okay, so we're talking about something useful. Okay, so for me, it serves my purpose to have the class at 6 p.m. London time. Okay, because two reasons. One, it's morning for me. Okay, so that's good. Not too early. 10 o'clock is perfect. Okay. And then also, there's no other class after this class. So I think on Tuesday, we went about 10 minutes over, and it was okay because there's no teacher after me. So this time slot definitely serves my purpose. Okay. So think of something else that serves your purpose.
Yeah, it's right.
Go ahead, Pawa.
Yeah, thank you so much. When I join your class, serve my purpose
Yeah.
for my profession.
Right. Okay. So learning these idioms and phrases serves your purpose, so you become a more confident English speaker, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
So me
Yeah.
also want to participate in this. Attending this type of session or lecture serve my purpose to improve my English.
Exactly. Okay. So you have a desire to improve your English, want to become a more confident English speaker. And lots of times, if you go to English classes and textbooks, they might not have a big section on idioms and phrases, but they're so useful. They're so useful. And if you go to the movies or you watch television and you hear these phrases or these idioms, you really want to know what they mean, right? So that's why I really think that idioms are interesting. And last Tuesday, we found out there's about 25,000 idioms in the English language. So that's like a lot, right? And probably new ones are being added all the time, with the young people, right? Okay. So I use websites, I use, different links for different places, and then, I use this book, Essential English Idioms, which I find extremely useful, and it definitely serves my purpose because at the beginning there's beginner idioms, and here, as you can tell, okay, I'm about 2/3 in. So these aren't really super advanced idioms. They're not beginner idioms. They're kind of in between. So with a class with different levels, I find this definitely suits my purpose. Okay, so that was a good one.
Sorry, teacher. Can you say what you use for idiom in order to study or read?
Well,
You hear me? Do you hear me?
yes. So studying serves your purpose. Joining this class serves your purpose. Yeah. What else?
No. I said send the link of the idiom file.
Yes. I'm going to post the link for this book. It's free. Okay. So yes. So
Okay.
I post like today I posted a link for conversation. Okay. So I did do, it's called
Okay.
small talk. Okay. And these are open-ended questions that don't just have a yes or no answer. Like, tell me about the last 5 minutes of the class, which is basically kind of now. Okay. What I do is I give the class 5 minutes to tell the class a story or a joke. Okay. Or a movie review. We've had lots of interesting situations whereby the people in the class get practice telling us a story. Okay, so right about now, okay, so we have about 5 minutes left in the class, 6 minutes. Okay, so does anybody have a story? Okay, so on Tuesday, David told us about the story about his injury. Okay, and then I hope I helped him solve, his problem there. Okay, so now, so it can just be about your life. It could be something that's funny, something that's sad. Life goes up and down. Okay, you can have good days, you can have bad days. Okay, lots of people like telling jokes. We love jokes. Okay, so is there anybody that would like to tell a story? Jenny, I think that you're new to the class. Do you have a little story that you'd like to tell us?
Okay, thank you. As my first time in this platform, I am beginning in English. I am learning. I unfortunately I don't have many vocabulary for express my ideas. Thank you.
That's okay. That's okay. You need to listen to a lot of the language before you can speak it better. Okay, same with me. I'm still studying Spanish, and I have to listen to a lot of Spanish so that I can speak it better, right? And
Yes.
now I have a new Spanish teacher from Colombia on Mondays. So I believe that my Spanish is going to get better because I'm working with a native speaker, just like you're working with me. Okay, does anybody have a story to tell? Oh, there we go. Okay. Nahu, tell us a story. Tell us a story.
Hi, John. I'm now or Nahu. I'm from Mexico, and I think that was the first time that I attend this meeting, and I think it's a good good a good room, because one of the problems that I have in order to improve my English, is to use vocabulary that help me to change or to use what is the word, higher level of vocabulary, because in my experience I always use uh, basic vocabulary regarding to your topic for today, and to learn and understand the meaning of a new phrasal verb for me is the most important thing, and it's the moment to understand, because I think that my level is B2, almost I'm sorry, B1, almost B2, and I need to continue practicing in order to improve my speaking abilities. Thank you, Joanne.
Okay. And what part of Mexico do you live in? Nahu? Where in Mexico are you?
Yes, I'm sorry. Maybe I have a lot of problems with my internet connection because I'm outside of my house. But yes, I'm from the center of Mexico, close to Mexico City. The number of the city,
I lived in Ciudad Mexico. I love
the name of the city where I live is Toluca with the letter T. I'm sorry.
Toluca.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
Go to
How
Toluca.
many times have you been in Mexico, John?
I lived in Mexico for 6 years. I'm a residente permanente.
Sorry,
Okay. Yeah.
it's my internet connection is bad.
Yes. Okay. So I'm a residente permanente. I now live in Canada. I came back to Canada, but I lived in Guadalajara, Mexico City, Oaxaca, San Miguel de Allende, and Chapala, Jalisco. So I've lived in different places in Mexico.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
Me too. I Mexico City. I live near the state de Mexico, del otro lado de Toluca.
Yes, yes. Well, it's a huge city, right? Huge, right? Earlier we talked about that Mexico City has about the same population as my entire country.
Yeah.
I miss Mexico every day, and I want to go back to Mexico for visit. I am living now in Canada, but I miss Mexico every day. Yeah. Okay. But yes, I really enjoyed living in Mexico City. I was teaching business English on Paseo de la Reforma in Ciudad Mexico. Yes. Okay. Thanks for that. Thanks for those comments. Yes, I really believe in teaching real life English. Okay. Practical English. Okay. The phrases, the idiomatic expressions and phrasal verbs, you hear all the time. Okay. So they make you sound like a natural speaker, like more like a native speaker, if you understand them and use them. So that is my mission. So that's what
Thank
I
you.
help you do twice a week.
Twice a
Ma'am,
week.
sorry for interrupt. I have one suggestion regarding our class.
Yep.
Can we segmentize the things like a lot of people are talking about the traveling. So next in class, you can select some idioms regarding traveling and some vocabulary, some words that will be used in traveling when you're going to travel, like in an airport, and then going to bus stop, and then in specific, uh, valleys or some kind public place. So which kind of common vocabulary will be used and which kind of idioms? So that will be helping in a real life.
I think that's a wonderful idea. I do like students giving me suggestions because then I'm able to personalize the class, right, for your needs and interests. Okay. So many people do like traveling, especially during the holidays. So yes, so next week, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m., we can definitely do travel phrases, travel idioms to help you if you were going through an airport or a bus station or a train station where you need English, the English language. That's a really great suggestion, Abdul. I can definitely do that.
Thank you. And
Great suggestion.
why next week you can doing like regarding banking or business or in a food court. So
Yeah.
every week we will do some specific segment, and that
Yes.
will be helpful and make more interesting.
Great. So we'll do at least 2 classes. And then if there's interest, we can do 4 classes. Okay. So no,
Okay.
because I am an experienced and credentialed English teacher, I can personalize the lessons to the class. And that's what I've done. I've been teaching in Canada and different places in Mexico for over 10 years. I think it's about 11 or 12 years now. And I've taught like low, and then I've taught university, I've taught business English, and I've taught in between. Right now I have 2 banker students. They are banking executives in Mexico City that I'm working with. And so I always, we do like, Mexico banking information or news in Mexico in English. Okay. So because I have lots of experience, I certainly welcome suggestions. So thanks, Abdul. That's a good suggestion. And I think it will be useful. Yes. And that's what I do. Okay. I teach useful, practical English.
Yes, thank you for for your taking your time. You giving us a free classes and make some confidence to us to speak naturally and confidently. And I have one more suggestion regarding you. You have experience in teaching. If you want to get higher money in teaching field, you can choose China or Middle East country. I heard about my friends was in China in a business trip, and he said they're paying very well for a Native American teacher. Right now, the China is also the Chinese wants their new generation learn speak English like a native. So yeah, they're giving a high paid money. And also in Middle East, there's a one benefit. There's a lot of foreigners. They are coming from Europe and USA and America, and also Canada because of tax-free salary.
Yes. Yes, yes. Well, I'm a little bit older now, so I like these small group classes on Zoom. Okay, I certainly can teach live, but I really don't want to teach big classes anymore. I did that for 30 years with little kids. So I only teach adults now. I teach them on Zoom, or sometimes I go to a coffee shop and I have my lessons like at a coffee shop. But thank you for that
Oh,
suggestion. Yeah.
thank you.
Okay. Okay. So yes. So thank you for that suggestion. And I really, really like the suggestion about travel idioms and travel phrases that will help you navigate airports, bus stations, train stations. Yes, very useful, and especially if you want to travel to English speaking countries. Good quest, good suggestion. Okay, great. All right. So, are there any other last questions before we sign off for today? Okay, wow. The class is really gotten bigger. I think last week we just had like, I don't know, 4 or 5 people. And one time I think I had two. But the class has definitely expanded. So I always welcome people that are coming back to this class. I welcome suggestions, and I will post the link for this book. We are on lesson 36. Okay, and I choose the idiomatic expressions that I feel are useful and that you're going to hear all the time. So, I really teach real life English. Okay. And sometimes I've seen English textbooks, they're terrible. They're terrible. They do not teach, well, a little bit. But they don't help students become confident English speakers. Okay, because when they go to the coffee shop, it's more informal language, and then somebody will use an idiomatic expression. You'll say, "What?" Like "K," right? Okay, so definitely, I teach real life English. Yeah. Okay, so thank you for your attention, class. Oh, Aya, do you have a question? Aya?
No, I just want to say that just keep going on and teach us because it's really helpful that you teach us some idioms. And also, I want to say that this is my second time to join you, but I might do chance to attend with you. It was perfectly beneficial. And it's just I say thank you for your sessions. Very, very beneficial.
Okay, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. David, did you have a comment or a question for me?
Yeah, just I wanted to say thank you for all of your recommendations. They definitely worked, and thank you for take the time. I think now I can say I'm feeling better. I know what I have to do, so it's really grateful that you have helped me with all of that. Yeah,
Poco a poco, right? Day by day, right?
day by day.
But the
Yeah,
main thing is you're not going to get an infection. Okay, so
yeah,
that's what was important, right?
that's
Okay, and it
right.
really happened to me. I mean, I'm not making this up, right? This really did happen to me in Indonesia. And it was scary. It was scary, because I was in a foreign country and I thought, oh no, now what? Okay. And it wasn't Uber. It was just like this random guy, that was going to give me a ride, somewhere in Indonesia, right? And then he had to stop at the gas station. And that's when I put my leg down, and that's when I burnt my leg, you see? So it wasn't Uber Eats. I couldn't complain to Uber at all. I had to
Yeah,
figure out what to do. And I thought, oh no, it's a burn. Okay, so I thought, okay, what can I do here? So, and in Asia, it's really easy to get antibiotics. You just go to any pharmacy. Okay. So I got the antibiotics right away, and then I thought, oh, what will heal the skin? And then I thought, oh, aloe vera. Okay. And then just like you said, it's not that hard to find, right? Aloe vera gel.
yeah,
It's in a tube. It's easy. It's not that expensive. And I just kept smearing it on the burn. And honestly, I cannot see where my burn was because it healed beautifully. The antibiotics healed it from the inside, and the aloe vera gel healed it from the outside. So the pain was gone, and then poco a poco, every day, it got better. So yeah, you won't have a scar or anything, you know. So you don't have
Okay.
to worry about that. You will not have a scar, and because you have taken immediate action, because skin burns can be serious. They can be serious. So you do not want infection. So that was the number one concern. So I was glad I was able to help you out there. And then we've got a good suggestion about travel idioms and phrases from Abdul. So really another really great class. Okay, and it goes really fast. And as you can tell, I'm a little bit over. But, you know, because there's no other teacher, it's okay if I go a little bit over. I don't mind. I am a dedicated teacher. I do this for free, okay? I like doing it. I like teaching. I like teaching adults from all over the world, and I feel that I can help you become a more confident English speaker, because you probably learned English from a textbook. Well, you know, I teach real life English. Okay. All right. So thank you very much. We're going to wrap up now. So thank you for your attention, and we'll see you next week with travel idioms and expressions. I think that'll also be extremely useful. Good idea. And we'll see you on Tuesday
Sorry,
and Thursday,
teacher,
6
for
p.m.
interruption. Sorry, I
Yeah.
want to ask you before you end up the live.
Okay.
So I want
Yeah.
to ask you if you are available to give me your direct contact with you so I can speak as a native if you have accounts and on WhatsApp or Telegram. So if it's available, so I can send you direct message, speak with you in a voice message.
Yes.
So making direct contact with you.
Okay. Yes, I do teach private lessons. On the WhatsApp, you can just click on the WhatsApp, and that'll take you to my WhatsApp account. Mexico, everybody has
Okay.
WhatsApp. So you just
Yeah.
click on my name and my number. My number is still in Mexico. It's a Guadalajara number. So it starts with 52. So 52. Okay. So just click on my name and my number. Okay. If you do want private lessons. Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Got it.
Great. Okay, so we're going to wrap up today. So thank you for joining the class. Wow, we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Wow. We've got like 14 people in the class today. Excellent. Well, I guess I'm doing something right. And thank you for your attention. We'll see you next Tuesday and at 6 p.m. London time. Okay, and I will post the link for the textbook. Okay, because it's still a useful, and there are exercises to practice. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to say bye for now, and you have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you soon, teacher. See you soon. Bye, guys.
Okay.